It is afternoon. Good afternoon. I think we're going to get ready to start with our press conference, so if everyone wants to come on over and have a seat. Well, good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today to celebrate Earth Day at the Ohio Statehouse. My name is Tracy Sabetta, and I represent the National Wildlife Federation and the Clean Energy Works campaign here in Ohio. 40 years ago, nearly 20 million Americans organized themselves to participate in marches, protests, teach-ins, and festivals to celebrate what was the beginning of the modern environmental movement. Inspired by Senator Gaylord Nelson of Wisconsin after he witnessed an oil spill off of California's coast, Earth Day was started to spotlight issues related to environmental degradation and the need to protect our planet. By 1990, Earth Day had grown by leaps and bounds, seeing more than 200 million people across 141 nations lifting the status of environmental issues onto the world stage. Today, 40 years later, there is widespread and popular support for policies protecting the air that we breathe and the water we drink. As Ohioans, we take pride in our beautiful landscapes, natural parks, the Lake Erie coast, and our diverse wildlife. Yet despite all of these treasures in front of us today, we have so much to lose if we don't take immediate action to address the real and pressing danger posed by our planet's changing climate. Climate change patterns already affect wildlife migration patterns, critical habitats, food chains, and public health. But if we act quickly, we can change the forecast for Ohio's wildlife, for our children, and even for our economy. By transitioning to a clean energy economy, we can create and maintain jobs, enhance our national security by lessening our dependence on foreign oil, and reduce pollution that is harmful to our environment and to our health. This is actually a very exciting time to be an Ohioan. The people of this state have the skills, the ingenuity, and the resources necessary to change the way we power our planet. For example, our local IBEW has constructed what is known as the G-Pad, a portable electrical generation station. Using built-in solar panels and an extendable wind turbine, the G-Pad collects and stores clean electrical power for numerous applications. It was engineered and built by master craftsmen of the Electrical Industry of Central Ohio Labor Management Cooperation Committee and the Electrical Trade Center. And this station was built as a demonstration unit to highlight renewable energy sources, energy efficiency, and conservation measures and environmentally conscious construction practices. In addition, we have behind us today something that you're not going to see anywhere else, and that is the 2011 Chevy Cruze brought to us directly from Lordstown. Now you're going to hear a little bit more about this in just a moment from one of our speakers, but I also want to acknowledge Bob Morales, who's in our audience. He worked on this car. The 2011 Cruze is not yet for sale, and this particular model was built just to be here with us today to show you the really exciting things that are being produced in the state of Ohio. Also, we have with us sun power panels, which you'll see over there by the car, that were provided by Third Sun. We'll have a speaker from Third Sun with us today as well to tell you a little bit more about how that works. I also want to take a second to acknowledge others in our audience. We have from Governor Ted Strickland's office, Jim Gollins. Jim, if you want to wave. Don't know where he went off to. And also from Attorney General Cordray's office, Patrick Harris. There we go. So as I mentioned, we're fortunate today to have speakers joining us from all walks of life, each with their own perspective on the importance of Earth Day, and each with their own story to tell about how we're already on the road to a clean energy future. Now, as a native of the Ashtabula area myself, it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker. Senator Capri Cafaro was appointed to represent the 32nd Senate District in January of 2007 and voted minority leader by her Senate Democratic colleagues in January of 2009. Senator Cafaro currently sits on the Senate Rules Committee, the Senate Reference Committee, and the Joint Legislative Ethics Committee. Senator Cafaro is a graduate of both Stanford and Georgetown universities, and her Senate district encompasses Ashtabula and Trumbull counties located in northeastern Ohio. Please join me in welcoming State Senator Capri Cafaro.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy 40th Earth Day birthday. It's a pleasure to be here to join each and every one of you to celebrate this important day here in Ohio and in the United States, and of course across the globe, as our environment belongs to each and every one of us, and as we have to reflect, I believe, on the fact that we have to be stewards of this planet. We have to make sure that we protect it. And in the process, we are very fortunate, particularly here in the state of Ohio, to have an opportunity to create economic growth through protecting the environment. As mentioned, I represent Trumbull and Ashtabula counties. So that means that I represent the home of the Chevy Cruze, and I'm very proud of that. The General Motors Lordstown facility is the pride of the Mahoning Valley and certainly the pride of Trumbull County. It is a job creator and now is on the forefront, certainly, of creating fuel-efficient vehicles that are, I think, very cost-competitive for our consumers to buy. And I certainly don't want to take anything away from the people that actually know about cars. I just drive them. I know nothing about them. But this is an exciting time for us. And in the state of Ohio, over the last several years, we have passed legislation that has made us, again, not only more cautious and conscious of our environment, but certainly creating an opportunity for economic growth through energy efficiency, through the ability to enhance the utilization of alternative and renewable energy generation sources. And I want to speak specifically to the bill that we passed about 2.5 years ago, and many of you may be familiar with this, Senate Bill 221. Part of Senate Bill 221 created a renewable portfolio standard for electricity generation. Now, what does that mean? It means that the electricity generated here in the state of Ohio, we have to meet certain benchmarks by 2025 so that energy and that electricity is generated by alternative, renewable, and advanced energy sources, like the solar panels you see here today, like the wind turbines that are on our great stickers and signs here, and certainly promoting energy efficiency, geothermal utilization in our buildings, LEED certification, etc. Now, why is this important? Well, we all know that it's important to reduce our carbon footprint. We know that it's important to reduce our dependency on foreign oil, but it's also extraordinarily important to remember that the Buckeye State is a leader in manufacturing and technology. So it makes us a perfect fit to be on the forefront of this 21st century new economy, making solar panels in places like Toledo, doing components of wind turbines in northeastern Ohio, and being able to bring those products across the country because of our transportation infrastructure and our proximity to 2/3 of the nation's population within 500 miles of the state of Ohio. So it's an exciting time for us. And it's an exciting time for economic growth. It's an exciting time for our nation as we become more and more understanding and committed to doing things and taking our part. We have to remember it's not just about making laws or creating a regulatory framework for more environmentally friendly policies. You know, we've heard about some of the environmental policies, for example, at the federal level, and I've just told you about Senate Bill 221, but it's also about taking personal responsibility for the actions that we take in our daily lives. And it's becoming increasingly easier because of the demand and because of the information that is available to each and every one of us to be able to utilize, for example, greener and cleaner cleaning products. Which I try to use at home, and I just passed a bill along with Senator Karen Gilmore, that became law about 2 months ago that basically creates a purchasing portfolio standard for bio-based products for the Ohio Department of Administrative Services along with the Board of Regents. So we're talking about biodegradable plastic made out of corn and these kind of things that obviously are both environmentally friendly and help us grow jobs in our agricultural sector, our industrial sector, along with our research and development capacity here in the state of Ohio. So once again, it's an exciting time. I'm glad to see you all out here. I want to